Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about some things that you may not know that you are able to ask for. These are going to be simple requests that could help you get faster, better, or more fair results. These are rights that you can use with almost any government assistance program, and they're going to show you what you need to do if you need help. But before we dive into that, make sure you contact our sponsor, Chapter Medicare, if you have questions about your Medicare coverage. They look at all 20,000 or so Medicare plans to help you make sure that you're getting the very best benefits for your unique situation. But of course, we're here for the list. So, first up, you can ask to speak to a supervisor. I've used this one myself multiple times. If your caseworker or the person you're talking with just isn't being very helpful, you can request to talk to their supervisor. It might take a little while, it might be really inconvenient, it might mean more time on the phone, but they often know a lot more about policies and exceptions and what's going on than the first frontline people that you speak with. In fact, I had an issue with CPS a number of years ago where the caseworker was just straight up refusing to give me information that I was entitled to. I asked to talk to their supervisor. I got the answer I needed in under 5 minutes, and I was good to go. Sometimes you have to escalate it, even if it feels uncomfortable. Now, at this point, I also want to make sure that you're fully aware that I am not a lawyer or a social worker. I'm a researcher who's been focused on helping people access low income programs for over 10 years. So, just so we're all on the same page. Now, the second thing you can ask for is help with your application. If you're struggling to complete forms or you're not sure what to do, that can be a stopping point for a lot of people. And we've talked to tons of people over the years who just get so overwhelmed with the paperwork that they then give up. But you don't have to give up. Agencies are often required to help people who can't fill out the paperwork on their own. So please do not let that process stop you from getting benefits. Sometimes you can also get additional support from your area agency on aging, community library, or other nonprofits in your area as well if you need additional assistance beyond what the agency itself can provide. Now, another thing you can ask for is interpreter services if you need them. If English isn't your first language, you have the right to an interpreter. This service is usually free and it is required by law. You do not need to provide your own interpreter. And when you're dealing with the government, especially when you're dealing with an organization like CPS, your child should never serve as your interpreter because that can make things very complicated very quickly. Now, another thing you can ask for is reasonable accommodations. If you have a disability, you can ask for extra support. This could involve more time to provide paperwork, meetings by phone, larger print notices, things of that nature. Usually, agencies are going to be required to try to meet your needs. Another thing to be aware of is that you can ask for expedited or emergency processing. Some programs can move much faster if you're in a crisis situation. And the way they define a crisis situation may not be the same way that you would, so it never hurts to ask. For example, SNAP has expedited benefits if you have very little food or money. Usually, they define that as having less than $100 available to you or having housing expenses that are more than your income. In that case, you may be able to get your benefits in as little as 7 days. Many people don't know to ask for this, but all you have to do is ask them if there's a way to get expedited or faster benefits because of your situation. Now, another thing to bear in mind is that you can also ask for a copy of your case file. You're usually allowed to see what's in there, and if there's anything that you're not allowed to see, like if you're working with CPS, that's something that they can redact for you. This will help you tremendously if you need to file an appeal, or if something doesn't look right, or you just think there might be a mistake in the paperwork. Knowing what's in your record gives you more control and can reveal what you need to do next. Now, in addition to that, you can also request a fair hearing. And this is easily one of the most missed things that I think people just don't know about. But if your benefits are denied or they're cut or they're delayed, you have the right to file an appeal. You can get a hearing. A fair hearing means someone else will review your situation and your case. And many people, like I said, just never appeal. If they get a denial, they just leave it alone and assume that it's a no. But oftentimes, if you appeal, you can get better results. It can completely change your outcome. So please, if you are getting denied or cut or delayed, Please see what you need to do to request that hearing so that you can get the benefits that you deserve. Now, just as a bonus, you can also ask for extensions or extra time. Think about it. The worst they can do is say no, right? So if you're coming up on a deadline and you're sick, or there's mail delays, or you have another good reason for being unable to meet a deadline, you can always contact them and ask for more time. Many programs do allow for a good cause extension, and sometimes even a few extra days can make all the difference. So if you're running up close to a deadline or you're afraid you're going to miss it, just reach out and ask them if they can give you some sort of extension. It can make a huge difference. Now, of course, one final shout out to our sponsored chapter. I strongly encourage that you call them and find out why they are a 5-star rated service. We have heard some truly fantastic things about this organization, and they have been able to help a lot of our viewers find a better Medicare plan. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested, and I'll be back tomorrow with more ways that you can save money and get free stuff. I'll see you there.